Excellent, everybody. We just are so excited for all the enthusiasm around these VGOs. And VGOs are the fastest way to build your business. Now, there's lots of information out there on how to invite and contact for your business. That's not the purpose of this. This is going to be the flow of the VGO. But just do remember, when you're doing that contacting, inviting, as Brad teaches, make sure it's for the business opportunity and not for the product. All right, because we're trying to help you, our goal is to help you launch your business. Now, if somebody falls back and wants to just try the product in that Sealy Fast Start training, Brad's got a great way to close that out. Great. Which product do you want to get started with? How do you see yourself getting started? And then either way they go, if they want to spray, then help them show how they can get a free spray with the bottle of Swish. If they want the Swish, then tell them to sign up for the Auto Ship so they get the free spray. So either way, we're going to go for that angle to it. But anyhow, that's aside from this. Okay, so how's this going to work? First of all, who's ever doing the speaking for your VGO, you should have a communication with them. First of all, to coordinate the schedule to make sure that that speaker is free for that night that you desire to do it. You can work with your upline and however that is, but you just want to coordinate for the date, and you want to talk with the speaker. You want to talk with the speaker at least 2 days out to make sure that you have to answer any questions that you got, and also to make sure the contacting and inviting that you're doing it in a proper way and about for the business. All right. And it just helps the speaker understand where you're at in your business as well. And then maybe even the day of is probably a really good time to connect again with the speaker so that he has a very solid idea what the numbers are, where you're at, and all that. And he might, or she may even have some extra little ways of tweaking what you're doing to maybe increase those numbers a little more. I had recently a VGO, and the gentleman had 10 people on his list that morning. By that evening, because of what we had talked about, he had 16 people on his list, and he had 10 people show up. So if he had not made that extra effort, he only would have had about 4 or 5 people, and it turned out to be a really good VGO. So now the day of, or excuse me, the day prior, if you're working with me, this is the way I do it. If you want to do it differently, that's fine, but this is the way I have been doing it. The day prior to the VGO, I will send out an email to the person who is hosting the VGO. That email is going to contain within it a text message that you can copy and paste into your phone so that you can start sending out the text message for the VGO invite. You can also send it out as an email. You can change that up as any way you want to. The idea is to put a little bit of value into that text message, help the person, let them know that you're excited for them to see this business opportunity, and also how they're going to actually get into the webinar to be able to watch it. The next thing, I would also send out a reminder text within 30 minutes, 15 to no more than 30 minutes away from the start of the VGO. Make sure that you are sending out another text reminding, hey, we're so excited for you, John, to be on this webinar tonight. It's starting in 15 minutes. We'll see you there. All right, something along those lines. Then backing up from that, so that's that part of it. Then there's also the attendee sheet. Now, this is very important for you to understand. That attendee sheet needs to be sent in to the speaker no later than 1 hour prior to the start of the VGO. I cannot emphasize this enough. There are so many reasons behind this. I'm not going to go into that because that's not the purpose of this right now, but just understand that that is the flow of the VGO. You are going to send in that attendee sheet 1 hour prior to the start of the VGO. When that happens, and if I'm doing this VGO for you at that time, when I receive it, then I will send you, the person that's hosting the VGO, another email, and this is what we call the panelist. So it's how you as a panelist can enter the VGO and have control over your video and your microphone. So once I receive, or if I'm doing this, I'm just going to talk this way because it's the easiest. If I'm doing this VGO for you, you send me that attendee sheet 1 hour prior. I'm going to send you the panelist entry, how you do that. And it just says it's going to be another invite. It looks like the other ones, but this one's going to have down there, click here to enter. Okay, click here to join. Actually, it says click here to join. That's where you want to enter. It's very specific just for you. You can't share it with anybody else. Don't share it with anybody else. It is just for you. That is your panelist entry into the VGO. You want to show up 10 minutes prior to the start of the VGO. Say your VGO starts at 7 p.m. You want to be on there at 6:50. I suggest the person who is running the VGO, who's running the slides and all that, have it all set up, ready to go 10 minutes prior. And then as you come on, If you've never done this before, the speaker is going to show you how to find the panelists, find the participants. Click on that, a separate window opens up, and now you can see the guests that show up. And what you want to do is welcome the attendees onto the webinar just as if they came into your home. You don't see them pop on and just ignore them. All right, you want to welcome them. You want to have excitement. Don't be sitting on the couch all like this. Hey, welcome, Tim. No, it's, hey, welcome, Tim. You're excited to be able to share this amazing business opportunity with them. So show your excitement. Okay. Yeah, there may be some nerves in there, but just think about it if it was at your own home and you're welcoming into your home. You wouldn't just say, hey, there's the fridge, right? You say, hey, man, can I get you something to drink? So make a little small talk with them. And they can't respond to you, but you can say stuff to them. And one of the most important things is to remind them to have a notepad and pen, because you're going to want to write down some of this information. Already start implanting that in their minds while you're welcoming your guests on. And then when it comes time to start, the speaker will say to the host, okay, John, why don't we get started now? All right, or something to that effect. That usually we wait till about a minute or 2 minutes after the start time of the VGO. We're kind of watching as the participants are showing. If there hasn't been any new participants shown in a while, we'll probably get started a little bit early. If there's still a bunch of people coming on, we might delay it another minute. But about 1 or 2 minutes at max after the start of the VGO, we'll say something to the effect of, let's go ahead and get this VGO started. Now, just like with the excitement of welcoming your guests onto the VGO, your excitement and your energy is setting the tone for this entire VGO. Do not rely on the speaker to uplift everybody. That's your job. This is your business. This is the launch of your business. You should be very excited about launching your $1 million business, right? So show that excitement. Just have a little bit of energy behind you, and then share what got you so excited about the business opportunity. This is not about the products at this point. This is about the business opportunity. If you're not excited about the business opportunity, I can't help you. There's got to be something about the business opportunity. If you're a single mom, hey, I'm so excited to be able to be at home and be with my kids, being a single mom and having an extra stream of income coming in. I am looking forward to bringing my spouse home from work. I am looking to leave my job. I want to be living on or traveling the beaches of the world. Whatever has got you excited about the business, share that at that time. That is your time to shine. Why did you invite everybody here? And it's not for the product, it's for the business. Then once you get done with that 30 seconds or so, now it's your time to edify the speaker. I cannot put enough emphasis on the purpose of the edification for the speaker. You do not want to leave the speaker hanging and then having the speaker having to introduce himself or herself. All right. The speaker should be edified, and it is not for the speaker's benefit. This is for your guest's benefit, so that they have a listening ear and they want to hear what this speaker has to say. So talk with the person, the speaker ahead of time. They'll give you a short bio, how to pump up the guests to want to really hear what the speaker is going to have to say. The edification sets the tone. Your energy hosting the VGO sets the tone for the entire VGO. All right. Then let's see, you're going to turn off, once you introduce the speaker, then you're going to turn off your mic and your video. So your video and mic are now off. All right. Then the speaker is going to go through the presentation. He or she may or may not decide to bring you back in for a testimony. I like to do that. Not everybody's going to want to do that. If you have a strong, powerful testimony, make sure the speaker is aware of that ahead of time, so that when he gets to the before and after pictures, or at some point where it's appropriate, they can bring you back on. Hey, Susie, yeah, I know you've been blown away with this product. I'd love to have you share with your guests your own testimony. And at that time, you come back on with the video, you come on with your microphone, and you go, thanks, Mr. Speaker, thanks, Guy. I'm just so excited about this product and what it's done for me. So this is the point where you share about the product. Up until now, it has just been strictly about the business. All right. So you do that testimony. That testimony shouldn't last any longer than 2 minutes. So if you've got a long story behind your testimony, figure out ahead of time how to condense that down to 1 to 2 minutes. All right. Because there's a lot of stuff to get here, and we don't want to get drugged down on it, but we also want to have the guests hear from you the host and what this product has done for you or your family or one of your customers if you don't have one personally, right? If you're brand new, you haven't even gotten your product yet, we'll probably forgo that whole part of this. But if you've been a product user and you have a personal testimony, it's the perfect time to be able to do that. Once you share your testimony, then you go ahead and turn off your video and your microphone again, all right? Now, the speaker is going to end this with a very powerful close. Some of you have been listening to this VGO training that I sent out to a few of the leaders, and the leaders are starting to pass around. In there, Brad says, 30% of the time he'll open it up for questions. We have completely botched that. We are not doing that, including Brad Hager. We are not doing that anymore, because you could go 30 VGOs and not have a strange question, and then all of a sudden you can. And there was, so we're just not doing it. All right. We're not opening it up for questions at all. What we want to do is get on the phone with these people afterwards and get their questions answered. All right. So at the end of the presentation, the speaker, who's ever doing the speaker, is going to end it with a very powerful close. Get back with the person who invited you right now. Thank them for thinking of you and get your questions answered. Let's get you that position today or tonight. All right. And then boom, it's going to end. Once it ends, you hack your clock, take a look at the clock, and you're going to wait 2 minutes. That's 2 minutes. If no one has called you back after 2 minutes, which they may or may not, it just depends, people are people, then you start going with your hottest prospect, the person that you think that would be ready to go with a pro pack on down, and you're going to call everybody on that list. And that includes the people that didn't show up, because you want to find out why they didn't show up. You don't want to just leave them hanging. And now what do? No, you're going to call them back. And you can even say to a person that didn't show up, hey, what did you like best about what you just saw? And they're going to go, well, I'm sorry, I forgot, I couldn't make it. I had to do this. Oh man, are you kidding me? You missed it? Well, this is the reason why we have a second VGO normally booked. So now we can place that person right back into another VGO, or at least give them the recording so that they can hear it. But you book a follow-up with that person before you pass out that link. All right. You always have the follow-up appointment booked before you pass out any information, regardless of what it is. Okay, that's the people that didn't show up. Now, the people that did show up, you're going with your hottest prospect first. And that's who you're calling first, obviously. The ones that didn't show up, those are later, right? So the ones that did show up, those are the ones you want to call back first. And let's say the first one is John. And you call up and you say, John, this is Susie. Hey, that was pretty amazing, wasn't it? So there's got to be energy. Make sure you're standing up with this. Make sure you have an application ready to go. As you can see, I've got mine highlighted of the information I need to grab from the person. And you got a pen in your hand and you are ready to start putting ink to paper. All right. So you ask the person, hey, what did you like best about what you just saw here, John? It was pretty exciting, wasn't it? Oh yeah, I like this, this, or that. And then you go, well, how do you see yourself getting started? So those are the two questions. What did you like best? Or what's got you most excited? And how do you see yourself getting started? All right. Those are the two questions you got to have down so hard, so just rolls off the tongue. You don't even have to think about it. Hey, what did you like best about what you just saw, John? It's pretty exciting, wasn't it? Yeah, I like this and this and that. Well, great. Well, how do you see yourself getting started? And you're going to know after that second question and exactly where they're at. Well, I was looking at the Pro Pack. Great. Hey, I just got a couple information. I know you're John, George, and what's your address, John? And you start writing that down. And, oh, what's your social? I need to write that down. And da-da-da-da, all the way down to the credit card information. You're off the phone. Boom, on to the next one. Now, if John has a whole bunch of questions, then I highly recommend having watched or at least download the 8-question follow-up that you can find on our Telegram, our team channel. I did a video on the 8-question follow-up. The video itself is about 25 minutes long, but the first 15 minutes is just on answering those or asking those questions. And then you have those ready to go and start answering those questions. All right. Now, if this is the first time you've ever done this, you're brand new to this whole environment. Here's what I highly, strongly suggest. Ask the speaker to do the 3-way callbacks or do the callbacks with you on the phone. All right. Now, you as a speaker, you can leave it up to them to make that decision whether or not they want you on the call. But I'm telling you, if it's a brand new person, they do not know how to handle the objections. They may not have the posture to help close these people the way, and these people are looking to be closed or they wouldn't have hung on for the entire webinar, but they want to know and have that trust that you're going to have the leadership to be able to take them, and that it's going to be worthwhile for their time and their money, their resources, right? So that's why I encourage everyone that's doing this, especially for their very first time, to do the callbacks with the speaker. There's already been rapport because the guest has already heard the speaker for an hour, and now you get on the phone. And so let's say we're doing this with me, so you call me, or you call me up and say, okay, I'm ready to start calling the people back. Nobody's called me. Great. Who's the first person on your list? George. Great. Let's give George a call. You connect us to George. You go, hey, George, this is John. You're not going to believe this. I got Guy on the phone. Guy, this is George. That's all you need to do. Is that simple. And then I'm going to take it over from there. You mute your phone so there's no interruptions, and then allow me to take over. And if I need to go through the 8-question follow-up, I will. But I'm going to ask him those 2 questions. Hey, what's got you most excited? It's pretty amazing, wasn't it, George? And he tells me, and I said, well, George, how do you see yourself getting started? I mean, you know, you looking at that Pro Pack, or you're looking at something else? So I'm going to go through that. And if he's got some questions, I can help answer those questions. If it's going on too long, I could even say, I can bail out of this phone call a couple different ways. Hey, George, we're trying to get through everybody that was on that call right now. We've got 10 more people to call through, and we want to get all your questions answered. But we want to find the people right now that are ready to move. And we'll get back with you, I promise. When's a good time for us to follow up with you? Later tonight or tomorrow, depending on the time frame, okay? And then we're going to get off that call, and we're going to go to the next person. This person just wants the product. They don't want to have anything to do with the business whatsoever. Great. I'll tell you what, go to Susie's, go to your website, the host website, and go to shop and go ahead and purchase your product there. We're so happy to have you try out the product. You're going to be amazed by it. Boom, off of that call. On to the next one. In other words, we do not want to get into a 15-20-minute call with every one of those guests. We don't have the time to do it. Remember that sense of urgency, right? So we're putting value, the sense of urgency, and the call to action, even in those calls. So the follow-up call. So I highly recommend you doing that with the speaker. It's going to help improve the results tremendously, because they've been doing this just a little bit longer. All right. Now, the last part of all this is you are to send that attendee sheet. Okay, this attendee sheet, there's 2 more columns in here, right, that are not filled out. The last 2 columns are not filled out when you initially send it in. Once you've gone through that entire list and you've got a mark next to there, it's basically asking, did they sign up, yes or no, and purchased. What did they purchase? They get a retail, they did a Pro Pack, Intra Pack, whatever. It might be consumer pack. Those are the 2 things in there. If they did not sign up, or you couldn't get a hold of them, then also put that in there, right? And then maybe if you've booked a follow-up appointment, you could put that in there as well. Just some information. And then you're going to email that back to the speaker before you go to bed that night. All right. Do not book your VGO when you know you won't be able to do that. You're going to be busy the following day. I mean, i.e. you're leaving the country on a vacation or something like that, or you're going to be, tied up with a family event the whole next day. Don't book your VGO the night before. You want to be able to have time after the VGO through the next day to be able to follow up with all these people, right? This is a business. Treat it like a business. It'll pay you like a business. And that's about it. So if you have any questions on any of this, go ahead and let me know, and I'll be happy to get those answered for you. And other than that, let's go rock the world. All right. Bye-bye.